best bets of NFL Week 12. And make sure you stick around to the end of the video where we have a 2-team, 6-point teaser you're not going to want to miss. But without further ado, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Get on our channel. We give out NFL, college football, NCAA basketball free plays every single week. Give us a thumbs up, and let's get right in to our top 5 NFL best bets of week number 12. First up is going to be a matchup between the Atlanta Falcons and the Las Vegas Raiders. Atlanta's coming off a poor performance against the New Orleans Saints, losing 24-9, dropping them to 3-7. Gurley is going to be out. He is having ankle issues, and Jones and Hurst are questionable, but they should be playing. Atlanta started 0-5, but they are 3-2 in their last 5. Their rush defense is phenomenal, number 9 in the NFL. On the other side, you got the Las Vegas Raiders losing against Kansas City 35-31, snapping a 3-game winning streak, dropping them to 6-4, but still in a wild card race in the AFC. No injuries on their side, and Derek Carr is looking pretty good. He's thrown for over 2,400 yards on the season with 19 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. The one thing here, though, is their pass defense is awful, 28th best in the NFL, and Matt Ryan is having one heck of a statistical year. The Falcons might not be winning games, but he is throwing touchdowns, and that's all that matters. So our 5th best bet is going to be the Atlanta Falcons +3. All right, moving in to our 4th best bet of the week is the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals. Wow, these two teams, not great, but one of them actually has something to play for, and that's the Giants. They were on a bye week last week. They're coming out of it looking up and seeing the Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles just barely ahead of them in the standings, and they still have an opportunity to win the NFC East. Now, Cincinnati, we all know what happened last week. Burrow's out. He's out for the season. He doesn't look good at all. I think his ACL and MCL were both torn. They end up losing to the Washington football team 20-9. Even when they brought in their backup quarterback, who is not starting this week. Starting this week is Brandon Allen. They couldn't put any offense together. Giovanni Bernard is going to be questionable for this game, and that just means less and less offense they're going to have. The Giants, on their other hand, Daniel Jones has something to play for. They've won 2 in a row going into that bye week, and he's got some good wide receivers with Shepard, Slayton, but their defense is not great. And I expect Brandon Allen to come in and be able to move the ball a little bit because not many people know who that is. Do you know who it is? Let me know below if you know who Brandon Allen is. Tell me where he went to college. I bet none of you know. If you do, show your skills, and we'll give you a shout out next week on our episode. But getting back to the game, the Giants, they're -6, and that's a good line. They have something to play for. They could win the NFC East division still. Cincinnati, they weren't having a great year anyway at 2-7-1. Now that Burrow's gone, do they really have anything to play for? You got to look at some of those receivers like Boyd and Green, and they're probably going to shut it down. They're not going to try to get themselves injured. That might cost them money down the line. So we like the New York Giants -6 in this spot. Moving on to our 3rd best bet of NFL Week 12. It's going to be between, these guys, the Cleveland Browns. Now, we usually don't bet on our own team's game, but this one we just had to play. It's against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this game is probably in the best weather that Cleveland's played in the last 3 weeks. It has been awful here in Cleveland, and now they get to go to Jacksonville. So sunny skies, right? Not so fast, my friends. It is supposed to rain, so they will be right at home against Jacksonville. Now, they did come off a 22-17 win over Philadelphia. They didn't look great. They have problems and injuries in their secondary. Ward is out. They also have 2 others that are out in their secondary. Sadejo was the name I was looking for. He is also out. This is the first time that they're going to be on the road. I think in 3 weeks, it looks like they do play a bad team, and that's what they've thrived off of. But on the other hand, Jacksonville doesn't have Gardner Minshew, and they're not going with Jake Luton. So who are they going with? Little name blast from the past, Mike Glennon. This guy has a career percentage 60% completion, and he can throw the football around. Now, Shark is out, so he does lose a wide receiver target, but he'll have Connolly, and he's got James Robinson in the backfield. I expect with the secondary out, the Jags to be able to move the ball on the Browns very easily. They are giving up 30 points a game, though, so you got to think Baker Mayfield and company are going to be able to score some points, especially with the dynamic duo of Chubb and Kareem Hunt in the backfield. So with that said, we're going to take over 49.5. Both sides are going to be able to put up points here, and I think it's going to be a shootout. I'm a little nervous. I would never bet on the Browns minus 6.5, 7 in this spot, because I would probably take the other side. But we are going to stick with it being a shootout over 49.5 for our third best bet of Week 12. Before we move into our top 2 plays of the week, I just want to give shout-outs from last week to 626 Lunatic. He's a huge Steelers fan. Thanks, man, for commenting. As a Browns fan, we hate you, but as a person who subscribes and is part of our channel, thank you so much. Go Steelers. They're 10-0. That's the first and only time I will say that. Gary Johnson, thank you, man. You were totally right. The Atlanta Falcons did not get over 50.5 points last week. Taysom Hill did a good job of clock management. Didn't get over. But your boy, Bolts, man, you thought Miami was going to go into Denver, and they lost. Chalk that one up for a winner for Grandstand Bettors. All right, so enough of that. Let's get back into our 2 best bets of the week. And we're going to start with the New Orleans Saints against the Denver Broncos. So the New Orleans Saints and the Denver Broncos are both coming into this game with wins. New Orleans won 24-9 against the Falcons, as we mentioned before. Denver is coming off that 2013 win against Miami. New Orleans 8-2, first place. Denver 4-6, nothing to really play for at this moment. I mean, there's a mathematical chance they could be in the playoffs, but more than likely, no. The only injury in this game, it looks like Judy's going to be questionable. But let's be honest, Drew Luck has been passing to Tim Patrick more. He had 119 yards, I think, on 8 targets last week. So Drew Luck is becoming a better passer. Gordon and Lindsey for the Broncos have just been a dual threat as well, kind of like Chubb and Kareem Hunt in Cleveland. Last week, 80 yards apiece for them. That's 160 yards rushing just between the two of them. That is going to be a problem against New Orleans. They have a number 2 rush defense in the NFL. I'm going to tell you right now, the key to this game is going to be if Lindsey and Gordon can rush against the New Orleans Saints. If they can, look for Denver to put up a ton of points, and this game is going to skyrocket because Tyson Hill won't be able to manage the clock like he did last week, and he's going to have to throw the ball a little more. Now, the bookmakers, I think because of the rush defense, have made this line for the over-under at 43.5. That's super low for an NFL game. We are going to take the over. We're going to take over 43.5 as our second best bet of the week. Taysom Hill, 18-23 last week for 233 yards, rushed 10 times for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what? I don't care if it's going to be a rushing game or a passing game. Both these teams are going to move the ball. Locke is looking locked and loaded with his team, and he's going to have at least 250 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Again, New Orleans, Denver, over 43.5. That brings us to our number 1 play of NFL week number 12. It's a good matchup. It's Tampa Bay against Kansas City. Tampa Bay is coming off a pretty bad loss. Tom Brady did not look good on Monday Night Football last week. We actually had the Rams in that. Go back, check out the video. We'll put the link up here. The Rams just tore apart that Tampa Bay defense. And if they can do that, you don't think Patrick Mahomes can do that? Well, hold on a second. Kansas City might have a great passing offense. In fact, the number 1 in the NFL, throwing for over 300 yards a game. But Tampa Bay has a number 1 rushing defense, and if you can't rush the ball and they know you're passing every single down, it's going to be a little easier to stop. Brady, on the other hand, basically the Bucs go as he goes. If he's getting 290-plus passing yards, they're 7-2. Time of possession is going to be the key element in this matchup. If Tom Brady can keep the Kansas City offense off the field, and the Tampa Bay defense can get some stops, Tampa Bay is going to win this game. And that's why we like the 3.5 points Tampa Bay is getting. That hook may be super important. I think it comes down to a last possession. And I think Tampa Bay's defense, after being a little bit embarrassed last week, is going to step up and make the stop. So, number one best bet of the week, Tampa Bay plus 3.5. So, before we recap, just a quick 6-point teaser. If you don't know what teasers are, we will put that in our description and you can read all about them. But a 6-point teaser is basically taking 6 points down to a number or up to a number that you like and combining them with at least another one. So we're going to do a 2-team 6-point teaser. And we are going to bet on the Browns with this one. They're at 7, I believe, or 6.5. And you're going to want to take that down to 1 point or half a point, which basically saying the Browns are going to beat Jacksonville. Now, that's not too far-fetched. Cleveland is looking really good against really bad teams, and that's what you have here in the matchup. So we're going to combine that with the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are a 6-point favorite over Denver, and I know Denver looked good against Miami, and it was an outright winner last week, which we even had, but New Orleans has something to play for. They're 8-2. There is the bye that they're still playing for. Denver doesn't. And Drew Lock has thrown a ton of interceptions, and he fumbles a lot. So New Orleans' defense is going to step up, and they're going to win the game. So you can tease New Orleans down to a pick'em. So basically what we're saying for our 2-team parlay is it's going to be the Browns and the Saints as winners. You combine those two, and you find yourself with some cash in your pocket come Sunday night. All right, that's it for us here at Grandstand Bettors. Just a quick recap of our 5 best bets of NFL Week 12. You have at number 5, Atlanta plus 3. At number 4, the Giants minus 6 over the Burrow-less Bengals. And at number 3, you have my Browns and the Jacksonville Jaguars over 49.5. At number 2, the New Orleans Saints and the Denver Broncos over 43.5. And the number 1 best bet of the weekend, everyone's going to be against this, Tampa Bay plus 3.5 over KC. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. If you disagree with any of our picks, that's great. Let us know below. Give us your scores and predictions. We'll give you some shout-outs next week. We appreciate you guys giving us some love and commenting. Do it every single week, and we will show you the love back. All right, that'll do it for us here at Grandstand Bettors. As always, sit back, relax, have a drink, get some chips, eat that popcorn, and let us do the work while you do the winning.